I did not. We were actually working here over the weekend, just preparing. So, but what a great! I was talking to Chris, just the amount of folks there, and then just the performance. I mean, just absolutely awesome. Yeah.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
Good morning, and thank you all for coming. Welcome to our Game 1 press conference as we preview the upcoming game at Fresno State, which will kick at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. local time on Saturday at Valley Children's Stadium. The game will be carried on FS1. Today we have head coach Clay Helton, along with wide receiver Josh Dallas, and defensive lineman Jacob Ferguson. Coach Helton will open us up with a statement, and then he'll take questions. We ask that you please use a wireless mic so our audience watching online can hear the questions. With that, Coach Helton, can you get us started?
Yeah. Well, welcome, everybody. Exciting time of year. College football is upon us. It was great watching the games last weekend, and now it's our turn, as well as a bunch of other college football teams to put their best foot forward. And it's exciting for our staff and our players. I mean, you think about 25 weeks of preparation, 13 weeks of spring football, 8 weeks of summer football, and then 4 weeks of training camp. There's a lot that goes into this, and now we get to go have the opportunity to play the game we love. Excited for this opportunity for our team to go out to California for the first time in our school's history, not only to go to California, but to play a California team in back-to-back weeks. First time since 1984, having 2 away games to open up the season, and it is an awesome opportunity because it's a great trial run for us. We have a very tough and demanding conference away schedule this year with JMU, Marshall, App State, and Arkansas State. So I really can't see a better opportunity, a better way to start the season than to play really 2 really good teams from the state of California and go have that test for us. So with that, I'll take any questions that you have.
Coach, the logistical kind of nightmare about this, although it will be fun, and you guys get to go out there, and this will be a neat trip for a lot of the guys, but they're going to be out of school for quite a while, bringing everything over there, where you're going to be practicing. Can you enlighten us on how all that's going to work out?
Yeah, well, very thankful for a couple of folks. One, Matt Hassan, who's our director of football operations. This has been a 2-year plan of putting this together, of being able logistically to get out to California, stay in California, and prepare for back-to-back weeks. I can't thank Dr. Marrero and Chris Davis enough for the resources given to not have to take 2 long trips back and forth, which could, test the body for later in the season. So to have that opportunity to go to Fresno, play Fresno, and then go over the grapevine to Oxnard, California, where the Dallas Cowboys training facility is, to use that facility where they're just exiting, for their regular season, and we get the opportunity to come in. We'll be there from Sunday through Friday, and then make the trip to LA in preparation for the USC game. But it is different. Usually here we have 105 men that are practicing. We're not going to be able to carry that number out there. So instead of having service teams, we'll have to service ourselves offensive and defensively, so practice will be different. We are bringing our academic people. Obviously, we're student athletes. We're not professionals, and so we do have academics that'll be going on during the day that we're responsible for. So, it's all part of a great test to be accountable, be disciplined, to be physically tough, mentally tough, and to go have an opportunity that has never happened at our university before. And so we're looking forward to that opportunity, and we look forward to getting on the plane on Friday.
Coach, it's your 4th year here. You've been around a lot of football in your life. I want to know, how does this team stack up as far as being prepared for week 1, not only here at Georgia Southern, but across your entire life being around football teams?
Yeah, this is my 31st year and being a college football coach, and this is one of the more mature football teams that I've been a part of. This has been a 3-year project, of acquisition of high school football players, growing them up within our culture and our systems, and then retaining them. And what you see is a bunch of 3rd, 4th, 5th-year players that know our systems, understand our standards, our expectations, our culture, and are ready for this season. And that's what I hope I see, as we walk into to week one, you saw so many games, especially early in the season. It usually happens. Games are not won; they're really lost. You see the critical errors, the penalties, the turnovers, the poor decisions, because so much emotion is going into that opening ball game. And you watched that last week in week 0. The first thing I said to our team yesterday was, I hope everybody noticed that those little things, those critical errors, are what really lost ball games yesterday. And so I hope to see a mature football team that goes out and plays like they have 3, 4, 5 years of experience with us, and excited to watch them play.
Coach, kind of following up on that, like you said, there was week 0, and Fresno State was a team that played in week 0. They played Kansas. Do you think that gives them an advantage going into this matchup because they've already played a game, whereas this will be your first game?
Well, it's twofold, to be honest with you. To be able, anytime that you're playing a staff, Coach Ince has done such a great job as a head coach, proven head coach at North Dakota State, 2 national championships while he was there, being at USC last year, a very high-level coach. But bringing in new coordinators, you kind of like to see, hey, are they keeping the same philosophy that they did at their separate places and where they had a lot of success. So to be able to see and verify kind of what their identity is with their personnel and see personnel matchups, that helps us. What helps them is getting some of those first game jitters out, some of those first game mistakes out. So it's twofold. We get a little bit of help in scouting, and they get a little bit of help of actually playing a game.
Coach, do you have any relationship with Coach Ince out there?
No, I just have a lot of respect. Being out on the West Coast for 12 years and being able to watch North Dakota State, and both him as an assistant coach and then as a head coach, to see a guy win 2 national championships out there, 8 draft picks from North Dakota State in his time there, just the level of success that program had, you always had a respect for. It was no surprise to me that Coach Riley brought him to USC, and now it's no surprise to me that he's a head coach at the FBS level. He's going to do a great job at Fresno State. You can already see it was just there's guys that just fit cultures, and that culture of that Central Valley. Fresno State's not SoCal, it's not NorCal, it's right there in that valley, and there's such a pride of community, and that's why they have the V on their field, the V on the helmet. The valley is a special community, and he fits that blue collar mentality, that tough physical mentality that started a long time ago. I remember the Pat Hill teams and how successful those guys were. He just fits. He fits that culture, and he fits that valley, and I know he's going to do a great job there.
And obviously, E.J. Warner's going to jump off the page over there as well. But was there anything else that you saw in game 1?
Yeah, we know E.J. from recruiting him out of high school, a fabulous high school quarterback that obviously has done a tremendous job in college. Anytime you throw for over 8,000 yards, you're doing something right. And you could see that they're coming together as a football team. I thought defensively they played extremely well in the second half against Kansas. 2 turnovers really caused some separation, 24-7 at halftime. But really in that second half, I thought things settled down and they played really good football. Offensively, you can tell they're trying to from a personnel standpoint, trying to see their strengths and their area of growth. You can see the playmakers across the field, and then you got EJ who can make any throw on the field. Made some unbelievable third down completions under duress. Was impressed with them going against a Kansas team that probably will end up being a top 25 team in the end and holding their own.
Coach, they struggled against the run, and they struggled to run the ball. They gave up over 5 yards a carry. They only got like 1.3 yards per carry themselves. EJ was under a lot of duress in that game. Their offensive line struggled. Do you expect some of the same things? Do you game plan seeing some of the things that they struggled with this past week?
Well, you saw the blueprint. Kansas did a really nice job of being able to get, really were first down efficient, first and second down efficient. That caused some third and longs in that game, and that's, stop the run and have some fun on third down, and they did. You saw the opening drive by Kansas where they were able to run the ball, they were able to do their RPO, they were able to stay on pace, and then after that, Kansas did a really nice nice job on first and second down, keeping them off pace. You saw a bunch of 3rd and 7+ the rest of the game, and that's hard. That's hard at any offense, and having a Kansas defensive front that is really, really stellar. I know they're probably working on, hey, we've got to get to those 3rd and 1 to 3s like we did in that opening drive. That's going to help us, and we've got to do a great job. We saw that against Troy last year. I never forget of being able to, not be first and second down efficient, having a bunch of 3rd and 1 to 3s, and that kept drives alive. And so you saw the blueprint last week with Kansas, and hopefully we can follow that.
Last year, you prepared for week 1. J.C. French was just named the starter, and it's kind of his intro into that role a year later. How are the conversations you're having with him different this time around than last year?
Yeah, reps and experience at the quarterback position means so much. It doesn't matter what level of football you're at, high school, college, NFL. If you don't have a quarterback, it's hard to win football games. And to have a guy that went 6-2 in conference, that came about one play away from leading us to a conference championship game, all-time completion ratio in the history of the school, having the best one. And just to see his sense of urgency coming off a good season. I remember him walking off that bowl game and meeting me in the tunnel and say, Coach, as long as we're together, that's never going to happen again. And he had a chip on his shoulder from that day all the way through. You see a guy that's lost 8% body fat, best shape of his life right now. You see a maturity in his game, a swagger in his game, a poise in his game, his decision making and getting rid of the ball out of his hand quicker has really stepped up. And so I can't wait to watch him play. He'll take us as far as we can go. Every quarterback does, but quarterbacks provide hope. And that's what he gives us. He gives our team hope because of his level of play.
Coach, you talked about the depth being a big strength of the team this year. One area that's still maybe on a little shaky scale would be the kicking game. Where are you with that? Who do you plan on starting at kicker? And how do you feel about the kicking aspect right now?
Yeah, great question, Josh. This has been a great battle from spring through summer all the way into training camp. It reminds me a lot of when we had Alex Rayner and Michael Lance. There was no question in my mind either guy could walk out there and produce and perform. And that's what we have with Tripp and TJ right now. Obviously, Donald's got a little bit more health that he has to acquire in rehab before he becomes a part of it. But we looked at it. Guys both performed at a very high level, but Tripp actually performed better over training camp. So we're going to start the freshman. He has shown great composure. He has been ultra productive, and we've alerted both guys. Both guys understand their role going into game 1, and TJ's ready if something happens. And so we're always have been fortunate here to have great specialists and great kickers, and here come 2 more down the pipe that I bet you a lot of teams would love to have.
Coach, I'm curious if you can touch on one of the new rules that's going to be implemented this season when it comes to penalizing teams with fake injuries. With the amount of time that you have coaching, I'm sure you've had a couple moments where you're the face in a team and things like that, or maybe something like that has happened. I'm just curious on your thought on that and now being a new rule this year.
Yeah, with the speed of, obviously over my 30 years, the speed of the offenses has increased so much with tempo and with no huddle. And some teams have used that technique of being able to, go down and have an injury. And the NCAA has seen that, and said, hey, for the ethics of the game and the morale of the game, we need to address that. And they addressed it this offseason, and they're – If you do want to go that route, they are going to charge you a timeout, and they are going to look at it, and they can find coaches, for that. So credit to the NCAA. They saw something that needed to be addressed, and they addressed it. From a logistics standpoint for football teams, you have to tell your guys now, hey, it's a little bit different. If you know something's wrong, immediately go down before the ball is spotted, so we can check you out and be able to see that, rather than trying to be a tough guy and try to warn, and oh my gosh, 5, 6, 10 seconds later, and now you make that decision. Well, it's going to cost you a timeout. So, logistically, it is a little bit different. And credit to the NCAA. They saw an issue and they solved it.
Any other questions? Thanks, Coach.
All righty, guys. Thank you. Hail Southern.
We'll be back with the players after this break.
When you step into Paulson Stadium, walk through the football locker room, or stroll through the Hall of Fame, what you see is more than just space. It's a story. At Whitfield Signs, we bring those stories to life. From iconic athletic branding to elegant collegiate displays, Whitfield Signs can craft striking custom signage to help elevate your brand. Whitfield Signs, official sign provider of Georgia Southern Athletics.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough.
Welcome back. Our first player today is junior receiver Josh Dallas. Please grab the mic and we'll get it to you for the questions.
Josh, first of all, from a logistics standpoint, we talked to Coach about this. You know, I'm sure you guys are really excited about going out to California. It's going to be the first time in Georgia Southern history that the team's been out at the same place for a couple of weeks. How are you feeling about this as a player, as far as, you know, the studying, where you're going to be practicing? You won't have, Paulson to practice at, which is going to be a little strange, I would imagine, for you for a whole week.
Yes, sir. So first of all, I'm extremely excited. It's been an awesome all season with all the guys, with the staff. Man, we've got a really good team. And I've said this a handful of times, but really is important. The feel right now in the locker room is like a high school football locker room. The way that the guys love each other, the all season we've put together, and it's been really exciting. The next piece of that is this first week that we get to go out in California for over a week together. Man, I'm just telling you, how tight the group can get together over a week in a hotel together is going to be huge. I think about how important a bowl game week is when you get to go for a handful of days and how tight everybody feels after a week of being together. We get that at the beginning of the season, so I think it's invaluable. I think it's going to be really good for this team, really good for this staff, and it's going to be a great way to kick off the year.
What'd you notice on tape about the Fresno State defense? And it seemed like they kind of took away the big plays against Kansas through the air and let them have things underneath. How's that kind of excite you as a guy who can get the ball in his hands and make a play with it?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be a really fun week all the way around. One thing about the staff is, man, they're really respected. The defensive coordinator just came from NIU. At one point, they were ranked number 3 in the country. So, man, we've got the utmost respect for them, the players on that field. And at the same time, we trust Coach Att with the offensive game plan, Coach Bailey with the defensive game plan, and Coach Helton really to push all of this together. And then the special team side of things, too. Man, Coach Wilson's done a great job, and we've loved having him too. So all the way around, it's going to be 2 great opponents, and we're going to have a great week. So,
do you think it's an advantage for them to have played their first game, and you guys, like they've already played their first game, you guys are playing your first game? Do you think there's a little bit of an advantage for them, or do you think it's an advantage for you guys because you got to see them already play a game and they haven't seen you?
Right. I think Coach Helton hit it perfectly. You have the 2 sides of it where, yes, they got the first game kind of out of the way. You have some of those things that you have to work through a first game. But at the same time, we get to watch them a week ahead. So I think you have the both sides of it, and I think Coach Helton put it exactly right. And that's what I was thinking before I even heard him say that. But it is true. There's the positives and negatives of both sides of it.
A lot of routines when it comes to being a student athlete, and especially when it comes to preparing for a game or right after a game. Now, once again, you have this unique opportunity to be out there for an entire week. So how is it going maybe to flush away that first game once it does come up to actively prepare for USC, then knowing that you're in a different environment like that?
Right. I think something that the leaders really preach all the time. Coach Helton does a great job of it as well. And it's something that I've challenged myself to be as present as I possibly can be. That's something that we've preached the last few years, and it's something that I've really tried to lead by example in. But if we can really make the most of every moment that we're in, then we're going to be okay. And in the game, we say rep by rep, but it's the same thing with school or with ball or in the weight room, being consistently exactly where your feet are at. And if you make the most of this moment, like right now, the most of this press conference, then I'm going to make the most of getting on the jugs machine. Then I'm going to make the most of getting in the film room. Then I'm going to make the most of being at home with my wife. Whatever that looks like, being exactly where your feet are at and making the most of it, you're going to be okay. And then the leaders leading by example in it, and then everybody else is going to follow.
Tough with these 2 games on the road. You don't want to come back 0-2. how important is this one with Fresno? I know you're not looking ahead, but USC is going to be a tall task. I know you guys don't want to come back on to how important is it to
Right.
get this one.
Right. So, again, Coach Helton said the beginning of season is hope, right? And, again, it's just being grounded where you're at. Right now, we're not thinking about USC. We're thinking about Fresno State. We're thinking about what we can do right now in this present moment, again, to be completely grounded where we're at, being consistent in our routines, in our schedules, trusting the coaching staff that they're putting us in a plan to succeed, and then it's our job as players to follow through with that. So right now, we're doing everything we possibly can do to win this game first. Fresno State, focus on the team that we have right now, and then every day we'll focus on what that next opponent is. But right now, it's Fresno State. They've got a really good team that they've put together, incredible coaching staff, so they're going to get everything that we have as well.
Congrats on being named a team captain this year. How'd you find out, and what does it mean to you to be a captain of the Georgia Southern football team?
Man, I'll tell you what, it's a childhood dream. It really is to get to be a captain of a Division I football program, especially at Georgia Southern. Man, since I came in as a freshman, I saw the leaders that were before me, and I don't know if I would have believed as a freshman I could be in that standpoint with the guys that were listed as captains, but it is a huge honor that I'll carry the rest of my life. I was telling my dad this the other night. I was like, if I don't score another touchdown the rest of my career, man, the fact that I get to have a C on my chest, I have so much pride in that, especially being at a place like Georgia Southern. Man, it means so much to me, and man, it's a huge honor. It really is.
Another one of those captains, J.C. French. I asked Coach about it. What changes have you noticed from week one J.C. French last year to week one J.C. French this year, and how he's approaching the team, meetings and practice and things like that?
He's a man, straight up. He's a man. The way that he carries himself in the locker room, in the weight room, I'll tell you what, that dude's a freaking leader. And it's a dude that I'll go to war with every single day. He's a guy that is in the film room more than anybody else. He's in the weight room doing extra reps every day. He's the one that's killing it in the classroom. He's the one leading by example. He's saying all the right things. He's doing all the right things. Man, he's a stud, and it's somebody I'm really excited to watch play this year. He's going to ball out and lead this football team. So I'm really, really proud of him. He's a dude that's contagious too. When you're around him, you can feel his energy, his swagger like Coach Helton was talking about, and he's going to do a great job this year leading our program.
Let's go back to that last question because we're glad you got the C, but we need touchdowns still.
Absolutely.
Now talk about it. This grind, the preseason grind, you guys have been going at it for so long. Is there a light at the end of the tunnel? Can you guys feel it now? I mean, it's getting close where you finally get to hit somebody else and go through those game day traditions and really soak it all in.
There's nothing like getting to go out there under the lights and play, man. A lot of times people they don't realize we're up here every single day in the random Tuesday in the middle of winter. Nobody's realizing that we're up here, we're grinding together with the staff, with our teammates. Man, there's nothing like having a whole off season every single day, bonding together, and then you get to go out there 12, 13, 14, 15 times together and making the most of that time. So I'll tell you what, we're doing everything we possibly can do to get in the end zone as much as we can. And I know I said that, but I'm telling you, it's going to be a really fun year this year with the group that we have together. And another thing is, with how tight the team is this year, sometimes you can have ego on teams. Sometimes you can have selfishness on teams of, oh, this guy's getting this many touches. This guy's getting to score touchdowns. This guy's doing this. Guys, when somebody scores in practice, the whole team celebrates. I don't care if Cam scores, if OJ scores, if JC scores, everybody's celebrating like they just scored their 15th touchdown of the season. And it's a really, really good atmosphere that these coaches have created. And it really is a testament to the guys of character that we're bringing in. It starts with Coach Helton and just the guys that we've recruited to come here through the portal and from high school, that we've created this group of guys that genuinely love to compete, but we love celebrating one another.
Thanks, Josh.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
When you step into Paulson Stadium, walk through the football locker room, or stroll through the Hall of Fame, what you see is more than just space. It's a story. At Whitfield Signs, we bring those stories to life. From iconic athletic branding to elegant collegiate displays, Whitfield Signs can craft striking custom signage to help elevate your brand. Whitfield Signs, official sign provider of Georgia Southern Athletics.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining built Ford tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough.
Our final player today is senior defensive lineman Jacob Ferguson.
Jacob, can you tell us a little bit about your thoughts on being able to go to California, stay there for almost, 10 days or so, get to practice in the place where the Cowboys are, staying there for that long? How's it for you going into this?
Yes, definitely. Great question. So, personally, I haven't been in California, so I'm excited about that part in itself. Being able to practice in the Cowboys facility would be a great opportunity. And as far as the situation of being there for how long we're going to be there, I think it's a great opportunity to be able to put our culture on display. That's being tough, that's being disciplined, that's being united. And I really think the united part is the biggest part about that we'll see grow on that trip in California. There for 9 days, I believe. So, yeah, I'm just really excited to get out there with the guys and get the ball rolling.
Yeah, and playing on national television, one thing I feel like the national media isn't very sure of is the defense that you guys have. What are you most confident in this Eagles defense heading into week 1 about?
I'm definitely really confident about our communication. Like guys being in the right place, them doing their job, and the trust that we built, and that comes with the camaraderie that's happened off the field, and we be able to see that on the field. Me trusting completely that the guy next to me is going to do his 111 to the best of his ability instills in me the confidence to do my job to the best of my ability, and that goes down from just the first string guys to the second string guys down to even the third string guys, and that starts from top to bottom. So Coach Bailey, they've done a really good job recruiting guys from high school, as y'all said, on the offensive side of the ball, and the transfer portal. And we got some guys that fill in some big shoes, and they've been able to step up and be who we need them to be.
Let's talk about 2 of those guys, Brendan and Brandon at the linebacker spot. What have they brought to your guys' defense, and what do you like about playing with them?
Those are some guys that you can rally behind them. I'll go to war with them guys any day. And it's really hard. I know Brendan showing up from the other side, it's kind of hard. We're looking at him a little weird, but he's a great guy, great human being, great man, great leader. And it's really exciting to be able to follow him in the battle each and every day.
Both of those guys just came onto campus in the spring. How hard is it to allow these kind of guys to just come in and be captains, or are they that, powerful out there that it's easy to do that?
Yeah, definitely. So they made it easy for us. We already had this bus rolling, so when they came, they kind of hopped out with their feet running, and just wrapping around their arms, instilling in them our culture. Again, tough, discipline, and united. And really, again, I'm gonna harp on the united part. They know that it's a family aspect here to things, and we're really instilled that in everything we do. That's on the field, off the field, and that's where it started, was off the field. But you could see their play in the spring camp and or fall camp. BT, Brandon Helton, like both of them, they're great leaders, great ball players, and they're great additions to this team.
What jumped off the page to you for week 1 with Fresno State?
So when I watched Fresno State, I think they have really good players. That's the first thing I saw. To get their first game jitters out, that's a really good advantage that they had. Obviously for us, watching them play and having the film. But that quarterback, he can sling it. He can put the ball where it needs to be. So we're gonna have to bring pressure to him early and often. And they took themselves to KU and played a really, really good team. That KU team's something serious. So to be able to do that and be able to see them do that, I think we're gonna have to be on our A game when we go down in there.
If a team wants to be able to have a very successful season running or passing the football, they got to go through the offensive line. For you guys being the defensive front, how vital is this group to be as good as you think they can be in order to have a great defense this year?
Yeah, definitely. I talk to my guys all the time. I tell them there's a reason why we're the closest ones to the ball on the defensive side, because it starts with us and ends with us. And when people roll them tapes and they turn it on, they have to see violence. It's more than physicality. It's more than aggression. It has to be violent. So when teams turn the tape on, they have to be able to think, hey, we don't know if we want to run the ball. We might want to run, you know what I mean? Screen plays, RPOs, things like that. So when it comes down to us to make our plays, we got to keep in mind that it starts with us and it ends with us every single play.